In this interview, I'm joined by the team members from Freeloaderz, and they're going to talk about their smart claims platform, where they're using that to distribute various different tokens in the Cardano ecosystem. Their first major drop is the Meld Bank Managers. This is coming up soon. I did do this interview way back when the Vassal hard fork happened, so it's a little bit old, but with all the traveling around that I did for a CNFT Con and Rare Bloom, unfortunately, I didn't take this interview with me to do the post-production, so I had to wait, and luckily, fingers crossed, Meld haven't gone through that process yet. They're still doing some things to get those NFTs perfect, so we'll just have to wait for that a little bit longer. But we'll go through the whole platform, the mint, how that's going to happen, as well as their platform, their DAO governance, everything else around it. It's a really interesting interview, and getting to know the team members just that little bit better, it was quite nice. I also got to meet Blockjock, or James, at Rare Bloom as well, so it's really cool to actually meet someone in person that you've been speaking to online as well. Rare Bloom was absolutely fantastic, and so was CNFT Con, by the way. Okay, let's get into this interview. I have the team from Smart Claimz joining me on this episode to talk about what they've been building. I've seen a lot of work from the Freeloaderz community and this whole environment evolving from just a few months ago to where it is now. I haven't been keeping up with everything, so I'm glad that the guys have contacted me to talk a little bit about what they're building. I've seen a couple of partnerships in place as well, so I'm pretty excited to hear what is going on with that. So gentlemen, Sean, Chris, James, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks, Pete. Appreciate it very much. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
all right.
Great to be here. Nice to meet you too.
So let's get into a real quick overview of who we're talking with here, so we get an understanding of the team here. So Sean, do you want to give like a really brief intro on how you got into the Cardano ecosystem and how you're contributing at the moment? And then we'll go to James and Chris after that.
Yeah, so I'm Sean. I'm the stake pool operator of Envy Stake Pool. I originally got into Cardano after receiving $100 worth of Bitcoin for Christmas as kind of a fun gift from my mom, which caused me to go down the whole rabbit hole of blockchain technology and comparing proof of work versus proof of stake models. And that led me to discover Cardano. When I came to Cardano, I discovered this radical idea of using stake pool rewards as a means of donating to charity. And so I decided to kind of join in that effort and try to start a stake pool. We donate 30% of our rewards to Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption and also Save the Children. And along the way, I've met some great people like Chris and James and other stake pool operators. So that led to some fun spaces on Twitter where we talked about, especially during the Sunday Swap launch, needs for decentralized transaction submission. And that was kind of the genesis of Freeloaderz. So I've been a core contributor there since I think probably late February, early March.
Very cool. And James, what's your journey into this space? I see you on Twitter Spaces almost every day. I think
every day. Oversaturated, maybe just a little bit. We've been talking about that just a touch, but I actually love being in spaces. I love having discussions with other people, and that's kind of, I've been doing that for a very long time prior to actually coming into Twitter Spaces. So it just seemed a very evolutionary thing for me, and it was very easy to drop right into. I felt very comfortable in that particular environment. The only difference is I didn't have the face-to-face. Obviously, there's a lot of, voice-to-voice, and you get to meet people, but that's slowly started to happen. But I was in a Twitter space with Chris, and I believe it was Ryan with Panapool. Sean was in there. I believe George with Apex Pool was in there. Joker was in there. And we started talking about, or Chris started talking about, the Submit API, the custom Submit API that happened due to the upgrade. And from that, he was talking about what they could do with it. And it was very intriguing to me what he was talking about. And with Ryan having a background in network, he understood it quite a bit better than some of us did. And then, of course, we had George with Apex Pool, which, he writes code. He's also a network guy and is able to understand, Python and command line interface and all those other things. So it was almost like we had all of the necessary tools in place at that moment as we were discussing in that Twitter space surrounding that. And basically what happened is we basically just decided that we were going to join together. Chris asked me, hey, do you want to be, you talk a lot, Block, maybe you could be our community manager and get in there and start talking. And yeah, it was just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And was able to be a part of this thing. So yeah, that's pretty much the nexus of it.
And Chris, just quickly before we dive deeper into Freeloaderz, what's your journey into the Cardano ecosystem? I know you've been a stake pool operator for quite a while as well.
You don't know my journey, Pete? That's I thought you would by now. My journey started in 2017 as a Bitcoin mining farm up in Washington, where the electricity was cheap. So I set up a whole facility out there, and I mined. So I'm not talking about one miner with in your basement. I had a facility with about 50 to 100 miners. I also hosted other miners. I put about 20 grand into that facility. Long story short, I mined from 17 to 2020. And I can remember going through the bear market and having to make the decision to mine at a loss and to keep it going. I mean, my electricity bills were $2,000-$3,000 a month. And I just left them on. I asked my wife, "What do you want to do here? This is not making money. You want to keep these suckers on? To shut it all down." And we let them run. And then I didn't pay attention for a couple of years. I was working, I had a job and everything. And then it ran up to like $3,000 to $65,000, and we cashed out at the top, man. We got out at the top, and and I sold everything and shut it down. And then, wow, that was fun. What am I going to do next?
And hence now you're over in the Cardano ecosystem working with these boys doing some crazy stuff, moving over from the whole proof of work chain over to proof of stake. So I love this idea of what you guys have been building up, and I watched Freeloaderz continue and develop that Submit API and have like a decentralized service so that people can tap into, and that was absolutely brilliant because we did see congestion from some of the third-party providers such as Blockfrost, and their layers being used by wallets such as Nami and Eternal, and having some bottlenecks there. And having this decentralized service is absolutely brilliant. And I absolutely love what Freeloaderz were trying to do. And I joined in at very early stages, but I kind of lost track. So how has that now evolved to where you guys are now? It's completely different, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. We have 3 load balancers: Singapore, England, or Europe somewhere, and then the United States. And we have like 30, 40 pools in each one. And they're all load balance monitored now too. So in other words, you can get kicked out if your pool doesn't stay up.
If you're not performing. Wow. Okay. I better check if I got kicked out or not. I probably did because I've been watching what you guys are doing.
I think you're good so far. Sean would have told you already.
So we have a stake pool operator. His name's Chris from Coins Pool, and he's I think a solutions architect / network engineer. And he's been he came up with these custom scripts to monitor. So he's been alerting stake pool operators on some of our private channels as to what their status is and if they need to update things. So if you haven't heard from him, you're probably okay.
All right, good to know. So now you guys are evolving. You're doing more things. I know you got a DAO in place, and you're evolving the community along this process. So what on earth is now the smart claims idea, and what is you bringing to the community with that?
Wow. Well, along the way, we met another talented back-end developer, right? With Torben. Whoops. I was playing with my earphones. Can you hear me still? And he showed us what he was working on, and I was able to connect the dots, and I was able to say, wow, we can compete with drip drops with this thing if we can get a front end on it. And so we all agreed to do it. It's been quite a journey to get there. So yeah, that's why I said, I think you can, maybe your listeners can do a little deep dive on that back end, Drazzle.io, and read their black paper. But that's what we did. And then we had another stake pool operator with Forward Pool and Steven. He was just a world-class front-end developer. And so between the two of them, I mean, they built it. I mean, the rest of us were just kind of like, go team. Yeah.
I'm sure there's more to it than that. There's so many aspects to building a project. There's back-end development, front-end dev, making it look good, design, etc. But then there's also building a community around anything that you're doing. So if you don't have that community behind your project, no one's going to use it, no one's going to trust it. It's just like some weird thing that someone made up. And I do like competition in the marketplace. So drip drops, were first to market. They're very popular. A couple of quirks in there that some people don't like you have to claim every epoch, but that's their business model. But more competition coming into that token distribution mechanism within the ecosystem just gives users more options, gives projects more options to work with too. So can we just talk a little bit about what the platform does for users? Because we are coming from a space where people haven't heard of drip drops, haven't heard of Tossy Drop even, and now we've got smart claims too. So can we give a little bit of overview of what people can expect when using this platform, and why would they be using this platform?
So Smart Claims is a Web3 capable application. So what you would do is you go to smartclaims.io. And, in very simple fashion, you just click the connect button at the top right. You can connect your wallet, and it'll show you what tokens are available depending on the different types of distribution models we have. So the real advantages of this platform are to the point you mentioned earlier, that you can let the tokens accumulate. So we do have a transaction fee of a servicing fee of about 1.7 ADA. And even though it is 1.7 ADA, if you let those tokens accumulate for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 epochs, the transaction fee won't change. It's 1.7, regardless of how long you wait. The back end of our platform runs off of native scripts on the Cardano blockchain. So this actually enables for a highly secure and then also high security and then also one-click transaction. So you don't have to first send, 6 ADA to some address and then wait to receive it back. It's all done in one shot. So, and then also the amount of tokens that you claim will not change the transaction fee also. So it's just a locked rate, 1.7. So we've been encouraging a lot of people to come test out the platform, but also, maybe you can do a claim now just to kind of test out the platform, see what you think about it. We're openly inviting feedback, but also you can then go wait 6 epochs and claim later for a discounted rate, per claim. So I think those are the main features. Santo, am I missing anything you want to fill in?
Well, I mean, it's built on the Drazzle core backend, so there's going to be lots of things that we can do, right? Not just token distribution. You may have heard a little bit about the Meld NFT manager. So we're going to be doing their NFT drop, and that's a mint and claim all in one transaction. Same thing. So really, for us, Smart Claims is just the beginning of what we can do on top of the Drazzle backend.
So I do have to dig into that Drazzle black paper that you sent me a little bit earlier. I had a quick scan read over it, and it seems very well thought out from what I've seen so far, and what those guys have put together. So I'm interested in learning a bit more. And if anyone wants to learn a little bit more about it, I'll put a link to it in the show notes as well, so you can find out and learn about what the developers are building there. Now, I'm interested in some of these projects that are coming on board with you guys and doing their token distributions or NFT distributions. So you mentioned Meld there as well. I do love Meld because I have to say they're the first project that approached me and managed to boost my YouTube channel from 100 views to 20,000 views in one video. So I'm ever thankful for Meld. But what exactly are people going to get out of this NFT manager distribution?
Yeah, it's actually, so there's a couple different levels or tiers having to do with the bank manager NFT. So there's the gold, which actually gives you one full point off of the percentage on a loan product, let's say, that Meld has out. And then there, of course, are two separate levels below that with structured, of course, a little less than a fee. And I don't have the number in front of me, but I believe it's at 0.5 and then 0.3. And correct, you'd have to look at that to make sure within their white paper. But from that, then the NFT actually creates utility for the end user who's using the Meld protocol or the platform, and is able then to, let's say, if you're going to go in and get a loan on something, give your collateral, whatever it is that it's allowable, whether it's ADA or some other native asset. And then from there, your percentage on the actual loan amount is actually dropped because it's in your wallet, which makes it just extraordinarily cool. I love that part about NFTs when they have utility to them. It has value to me as far as me as an end user using that particular product versus, say, an NFT that I'm buying because I just love the artist, let's say. So there's both of those are useful. I find that the one that Meld's doing and what we've done with our Load Warrior and things of that nature are very similar. And it allows for the end user to, get a little bit of a drop in the actual fee that they're paying.
Okay, that's really cool. NFT utility, and really nice and cool that they decide to use smart claims as a platform to distribute that.
Well, it's also going to be the biggest drop in Cardano history of 42,000 unique
What?
NFTs.
42,000 unique NFTs.
Yeah, and there's some surprises in there that they haven't given out yet that are coming, and I'm not going to give it away. But there are a couple of things that are going to be like, wow, okay, that's cool, that they're doing as well. So it's not just a drop. And on top of that, they're not charging, 100 ADA or 48, or it's 2 ADA to get the NFT.
You can't do this to
it's
me.
crazy what they're doing there.
You can't say, oh, they're bringing all this utility, extra surprises, and then just not tell me.
I wish I could.
Why? Why'd you even do that? What?
Yeah, well, you know how it goes. I like to create a little bit of mystery, and there's always that anticipation. I love anticipation of things. Right. I know other people do as well. So yeah, sorry about that, man. But yeah, that's it. That's the best I could do with you.
I'll put you on my strike list now.
Right.
Boy, all right. I will sit and wait. But 42,000 NFTs is absolutely massive, and going through the platform to distribute that. I know there's a lot of eyes on Meld itself. So I want to, I don't know if you guys can answer it, but what type of load are you expecting from this distribution? Because they've got a big following. They're going to say, you can now claim this on smart claims. This is how you do it. Here are the instructions. You can do it from this time and date. What's going to happen? Because we've seen other platforms go, it's bots are attacking the platform. We're seeing like extremist amounts of load.
I can speak to that a little bit. So, the Drazzle backend is basically enterprise grade, okay? And it's been designed that way on purpose. Have we ever done 42,000 yet? No, I can't say we have, but it's been designed that way on purpose. So it's Kubernetes, it's redundant, it's the best key store, multi-sig, for the projects, the security of the keys and the tokens. I'll tell you what I think is actually going to be more difficult, actually rendering the 3D images. They're in a farm right now trying to render them all. Yeah. And they're taking like 30 seconds, 1 minute each, right? No, it's more than that. It's like 5 minutes each to render them. And then the latest conversation, they want to increase resolution. So the first test was 1,000, and then the CEO wants to take it to 2,000 by 4,000 or something. So that's not us. They got to render that. Once they render them, then we're going to end up in a terabyte situation of data transfer, so that we can mint them on demand.
All right. Okay. But this is going to be a very interesting distribution. It's going to be quite fun watching it.
No question.
Terabytes of data being pinned to IPFS or any other decentralized storage, minting of the minting of the metadata in the NFT. I think that's the easier side of things. Just making sure that the chain can handle it after Vassal Out4 totally should. I don't see any issues with their either. Happy Vassal Day, by the way. But yeah,
happy Vassal Day. Yeah.
But I don't see any issues on that side of things. But this terabytes of 3D rendered NFTs, that's going to be very interesting to see how that all falls into place. All right, very interesting. Now you've got this massive drop, 42,000 NFTs. Are you looking for other projects, or how do other projects engage with you guys to use your platform to distribute their tokens or distribute NFTs even?
Well, we've got the obvious one, which is which everybody wants, which is Hosky, of course. He's just a great project manager, a great energy within the ecosystem, and you just want to work with him just simply because of what he does for Cardano itself and how much a proponent he is of decentralization. So we're working with him on that. We're actually getting a little bit 0.5. Instead of 2, it's going to be 2.5 mil per epic for the download. And we aren't going to make it to where with Hosky that they can accumulate. We're going to have to, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And that's the way it's going to work with Hosky for now. Hopefully in the future, we can change that. But currently we're going to go with that particular option. It just works better for us. We do have a couple other in the pipeline that we're working with now, ensuring that they have all their ducks in a row as far as what they need and what we need from them in order for Torben to be able to put all of the different parameters set for that particular token. Sean's got one that he's been working on. I'm not sure if he wants to give it up yet or not. I think we're going to wait on that for a minute, but it is something that everybody knows. They've heard the name before. But until we've got it completely confirmed, I think we'll probably wait a few on that. But people will know exactly what it is when they see it. So, Sean, you got anything?
And, I just want to, I guess, something we're trying to push pretty hard is this idea of we're trying to strive towards being a DAO, right? And so we want our Freeloaderz community to have input into any changes that are made in our ecosystem. So what we're doing is we have the forum that we usually make there's sort of Freeloaderz improvement proposals on. And anytime we add a token project to Smart Claimz, we're actually listing it on there as a proposal. And then the community can provide feedback. And if we have enough, yes votes, there's a little poll on the forum, then we actually will take that and put it on to our voting platform for people to then connect their wallet and be able to vote. So we're trying to do things on chain. We're trying to involve the community and make sure that, the projects going on Smart Claimz are community led.
Brilliant. Absolutely awesome.
That's the Cardano Press plugin, Pete, that your team built.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sure is.
Yeah,
sure
thank you for that, by the way.
There's a couple of bugs with the implementation there, and I think we can improve the look and feel a little bit. So just reach out if you guys need some help with improving that, and we can lend some resources over to make it look pretty.
We're real proud that we were able to scratch that off of our roadmap, actually being able to vote on chain.
Yep.
I'm not sure very many projects are yet. At least I don't see very many. And so your plugin, even though it's early and I know you're still Catalyst funding, our Discord manager worked to make all that happen. I didn't, but I was just, again, rooting him on.
Yes. And thanks for the feedback.
Chris has been huge, by the way.
Oh, I was going to say, Pete, you're a freeloader too, I believe. And what you just offered is the spirit of Freeloaderz, right? It's an open ecosystem. Anyone can come in and participate. So thank you for your help so far, getting us to this point, and then for offering to continue helping. And, again, that's the spirit of what we're trying to do here. A bunch of SPOs just trying to contribute, and community members trying to contribute to the ecosystem.
We wouldn't be where we are today without ADAOZ and the guys, TCT, Riley, DZ, Tommy. I mean, I could. There's so many names. You can't get them all in one time. But those guys there have been huge as far as just being a bit of a mentor for us moving forward and giving us the information necessary to make this jump into the DAO and just a little bit easier. So I just can't thank them enough for everything that they've done for us.
Brilliant, guys. All right. Now, if anyone wants to join in on the community, learn a little bit more about Freeloaderz, smart claims, and all the things that you're doing with the community, voting, proposals, all that, where's the best place to start?
Freeloaderz.io would be the first jump. And then, of course, the forum where it's, And
that's Freeloaderz with a Z in there too. So that might trip some people up. So it's Freeloaderz with a Z at the end.
And on top of that, on freeloaderz.io, me and Chris have been predominantly working on the website. It's a volunteer effort, so still a bit of work in progress. But there should be a link to our Discord, and that has a lot of information there. We have a Smart Claims FAQ page. We should have all the links. And we're continuing to work and build to make things more transparent as we go.
All right, brilliant. I'll put all the links in the show notes for you guys. So anyone watching this and wants to find out more, easy links there, get straight to the project and contact you guys and learn a little bit more. Brilliant. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on the podcast episode. It's been a pleasure learning a little bit more, getting up to speed with everything, and good luck with these massive distributions as well. Looking forward to seeing how the platform can hold out and seeing happy users at the end with all their NFT bank managers from Meld.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it very much.
Happy Basel Day.
Happy Basel Day. Now, like I said, all the links for you guys, everything down below so you can find out more about the whole platform, how it's built, that black paper that I was talking about in the interview as well. So you can find out how the technical sides, everything around that, how that's all built. And of course, you can join in on their governance as well. I did have a look at their governance platform and see what they've done with Cardano Press. They've gone through a lot of votes. They've put that thing through its works. I didn't realize how many proposals the community has gone through. I think it's over 50 something now at the last check. It's probably 60 something now. But every single decision has gone to vote and it's all on chain. It's really good to see something that our team has built with Cardano Press being used out there in the ecosystem. So absolutely awesome. Anyway, that's it for me for this video. If you really enjoyed it, please give me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click the notification bell, and you hear more from me real soon.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.